She does look awfully comfy.
Ugh, too fucking comfy.
Signal's up. Let's get set.
I'm just saying it's my fucking parking space.
Yeah, well, I didn't see your name on it. Oh, grow up. Was the extra step from your car just too much?
Bollocks. You got the nicer dressing room.
And you always get the pastries first, but you don't see me bitching about it.
Absolute rubbish.
Look, I think we both know why you want the closer space.
That's 10 seconds.
This is insane.
Does that even what do you mean? Just listen, it's a punishment.
You're going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to The Nightly Show. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Julia Salisbury.
Later on, we're going to be unveiling an incredibly important piece of music. But first, it's time to get comfy here on the Couch of Chat.
Every night we sit down with our guests and put your questions to them. Tonight, our guest is Julia Salisbury. That's me.
That was my line.
So, if you want to join us here on the big couch for big chat, then all you have to do is call the usual number and you could be here with us in audio form.
So, guys, I was on my way to work today, driving along, and a huge song came on the radio. Yeah. Let me be your toaster.
Oh, popped up just to say I love you.
Exactly. So I'm singing along, having the time of my life. The song ends and the DJ goes, gosh, a real golden oldie there. And at that moment, I just wanted to burst into flames.
Oh, but your ancient bones were just too dry.
No, guys, this is serious. Honestly, I think I'm too old for the music charts.
So tonight, we're talking about what are you too old for? First on the line, we have Simon Dempsey from Dallington.
Hi Julia, Simon here.
Hi, Simon.
What are you getting too old for, Simon?
Bullshit.
Sorry?
Bullshitting.
Oh, that is what you said. Okay, well, you couldn't be more obvious. Thanks, Simon.
Bye.
Yep.
He's right though, isn't he? I find this all the time. It's getting harder and harder to play these games. I just want to shout, shut up, to the cabinet ministers constantly.
Oh, well, I think we can all relate to that.
Does anyone else find themselves on dates wishing you could skip all the small talk and just get to the point?
Oh, don't call it that on my show.
No, you know what I mean.
Well, next up, we have Paula from Stopford. What are you just too old for?
Wetting the bed.
Oh, yes, I should think you probably are.
Yeah, far too old.
Pass that round, love. I've got a bladder like a shitting raisin.
Well, I'm not quite there yet, but sometimes I'm up 14 times a night.
It's coming, love.
Well, that's something to look forward to.
Thanks for your call, Paula.
I think I'd stop drinking liquids after midday.
Next, we should have Desmond on the line. Desmond, are you there?
Hi. Yeah, I want to know when we'll get our elections back.
Oh, sorry. Can we just cut him off? Next caller on
Megan,
the line
it's
is...
perfectly fine. It's a perfectly legitimate question. Am I right in saying, Desmond, that you disagree with some of our policies?
Absolutely right, yes.
Completely understandable, but are we not safer? Crime is down and we're healthier than ever.
That might be true.
Well, it is true. We're better educated, less likely to be in poverty, happier.
Yes, true. But we should be able to choose our own governments.
Oh, I agree with you completely. But the system can't be trusted. We still see that around the world, the elites living in the pockets of corporations, pushing their ideologies of division, hatred and greed. And we see the uninformed millions return them to power against their best interests again and again, seduced by the lie that they can be a winner of a game that they'll always lose.
Right. Well, thank you.
Perhaps there will be a time where you no longer need us, but sadly, it's not now.
Thank you, Desmond. Wow. Tomorrow on the show, we're thrilled to announce we'll have another new pet. We'll be asking you to send in your ideas for names, so get your thinking caps on. But before we go tonight, it's time for an important announcement. Julia?
Thanks, Megan. Well, as you can't have failed to notice, last year we asked you to send in your entries for the National Anthem writing competition. Well, our judge...
That's acclaimed film score composer Jonathan Williamson, of course.
Yes, Jonathan has been beavering away for the last 6 months listening to every single one of them. And I am pleased to announce that tonight we have a winner!
Yes, entries have flooded in from across the territories. And the standard this year has been incredibly high.
Some of you went for slightly off-centre ideas. So before we announce the winner, we thought you'd like to hear a few that didn't quite make the top spot, but which stood out in the judges' opinions nonetheless.
Exactly like this entry from 6-year-old Jenny Daisy Chain.
Julia is the best. You don't care what she is, but I care what she is. Julia is best. Julia is the best.
Bless her.
So cute. Is that it? I mean, I could have done better, frankly. It was too short, isn't it? Clearly. So.
Well, maybe you should have entered, eh, Patrick?
I think you did, didn't you, Patrick? More than once.
48 times, actually. So.
Crikey, you put in 48 entries.
Well, I didn't win, did I? I didn't even get shortlisted for these extracts. So.
Well, there were a surprisingly large amount of entries, so try not to take it too personally.
I'm not taking it personally. I'm absolutely fine with it.
Next up is this runner-up from Mariah Oversing, who lives right here in the capital.
And
Yikes. What a powerful voice.
That's a little bit indulgent, isn't it? Really? I think someone needs to lend her a consonant.
Yes, Jonathan enjoyed the performance, but felt it might not work in a choral context.
And it wasn't just soloists who entered, some of you banded together.
I see what you did there.
Including this entry from the Arsminster Old Town Brass Band, which they called Harps for the People in B-flat minor.
Are you kidding now? Wow.
Jonathan thought it was catchy, but lacking in meaning.
That'd be all of my ones. I mean, it didn't even have any words, really, did it? So.
And finally, a special mention to a band called Throbbing Death Stick of Satan for this impassioned entry.
Watch them fucking
Crikey.
Yes, Jonathan was impressed with the passion and musical need to be of the piece.
Sorry, is this some sort of joke?
So don't keep us in suspense any longer. Let's find out who won.
Well, after 6 arduous months of shortlisting, Jonathan surprised us all by picking his own entry.
Oh, of course he did.
Which is entitled simply Anthem.
And joining us to sing it tonight is acclaimed classical singer Helen Judge.
Helen Judge.
Hi, Helen. Welcome to the Nightly Show.
It's an enormous pleasure to be here, Robin.
And you are a walking, talking example of how life begins at 30, I believe.
It would appear so.
Because not only are you one of the most respected choristers in the territories,
Gosh, that's incredibly kind.
but you are also author of Leaving Gregory, the autobiographical, best-selling piece detailing how you left your horrible husband to pursue your dreams. I've read it, and I've got to say it's inspiring stuff. So good.
Gosh, thank you again. Yes, I just want all women to know it's never too late to wash those stubborn stains away and begin a fresh, new life.
And speaking of stubborn stains, do you ever see Gregory?
Oh, yes. Greg, come here. You see, once the book came out, he became pretty much unemployable. He begged for me back. I refused, of course. But I didn't want him lazing about all day, so I keep him as my assistant. To be honest, he's about as useful as a cardboard asshole. Oh, there you are. Where's the book? Oh, for God's sake. Do you think I called you out here for your charm? Go and get the book, Greg.
Right.
This is why I don't pay you! Do you see what I mean?
Cripes, yes.
So I just wanted to give a special mention to the Capitol Symphony Orchestra, who perform on the backing track that we'll be using tonight, and to the Grizzleford Male Voice Choir, who provide the gorgeous harmonies you can hear in the chorus. And finally, I just want to thank Jonathan Williamson for writing such an inspiring melody and for flying me out to his villa for the weekend so we could really explore the piece together from his hot tub. He even let Greg set up a tent in the grounds, didn't he, Greg? Oh, it's too late. Moment's gone.
Well, we have been practicing all day, so I think we might join in on the chorus if that's okay.
I'd be delighted. Not too near the mic, though, please.
Crikey!
So, without further ado, here is Helen Judge with the world premiere of the Territory's new national anthem. And starting next week, when I become the regular new host of The Nightly Show, we'll be singing it at the end of every broadcast.
Sorry, what's that?
Helen Judge, everybody!
We are tolerant and brave, forward unafraid, and thus I take your hand, as one we stand, dignity, unity, togetherness in this land. Times undone, we stayed out of the sun. The wealth of all accrued to one, and fear and hate filled our overflowing plate. In the dark we'd wait, and then a crash, a storm, a brand new golden morn. Win again, begin again, this fine never-ending dawn. Dream, oh dream, the wonders you have seen, the place you are and whose you've been. This simple plan, the equality of man. Each gives all they can. So save your words of doom, leave your terror and your gloom. Educate, liberate, emerge from a broken womb. We stand free of inequality, the good from all spread evenly. No lords, no slaves, we are tolerant and brave, forward unafraid, and thus I take your hand, as one we stand, dignity, unity, togetherness in this land.
Well, that's all we have time for tonight on The Nightly Show.
But before we go, one final thought. May I? question I get asked the most often is, what gets me out of bed in the mornings? What keeps me motivated to do the best job I can? And the answer is always the same. It's you, the people, my people. On election night 6 years ago, my dearest friend, the late Peter Clement, told you all it ends today. And he was right. It was an end to struggle, an end to helplessness, an end to a life abandoned by the institutions set up to help you. In the uneven past, you were alone on a mountainside, but now the team has its arms wrapped around you. Like a mother, the team will hold you to its chest against the storms of life. Like a father, the team will keep a fire burning through the bitter nights. The team loves you, and the team knows what's best for you. And unlike a parent, the team will never abandon you. And you will be safe in our warm embrace until the end of time. My name is Julia Salisbury, and you're safe with me. Good night.
And we're out.
Great show, everyone. See you on Monday. Helen, we must talk.
Oh, of course.
Having a little do at the mansion, just a couple of 100 movers and shakers. You must come and perform.
So what happens now?
Well, do we still have jobs?
Jenny, did you know about this?
It's news to me.
How can she be an anchor? She's never even been a reporter.
But maybe they'll make you culture correspondent.
Too soon. Let's go for a drink.
Chin up. Tomorrow's another day.
You know, I backed her all the way.
I know you did.
And what about Bozeman? He's supposed to be my friend.
I know he is.
They're going to demote me.
Seems that way.
They want to get rid of me, Jenny.
And yet, you persist.
There's no point in trying to hide it, Prime Minister. It's a challenging situation.
The House has happened, Thomas. I was assured that the test was 99% safe.
Well, sadly, the results fell in the difficult 1%.
But I don't understand how contraception
Jenny?
is irreversible.
We're not being
dealing with the
broadcast.
genetic
Alex
modification
is putting
of
something
seeds.
else
It's an
up.
Well, let me
entirely new
see.
science. No one could have predicted the rate at which the crops would evolve.
What are the numbers?
We estimate between 70 and 90% across all the territories within 3 years.
70 to 90%.
And among those who do conceive, we estimate the vast majority of births will be unviable.
It was supposed to be opt-out contraception, a way of stopping accidental pregnancies and unwanted
All
children.
the best laid plans of mice and men.
But I don't understand. The test was only supposed to be in Territory 1. How is it spreading across the territories?
It's in the food chain, Prime Minister. It's in the soil and the seeds and the livestock. And we fear it could shortly become the dominant strain.
Irreversible?
Well, we could scorch the land, destroy our animals. We could beg for unaltered seeds and livestock from countries far geographically outside the territories.
They'd rather see us starve.
I can't argue with that assessment.
They'll hang me for this, Thomas.
It's not your fault, Jenny.
No, you're right. It isn't. Can your team be trusted?
Well, they know the consequence of breaking the Official Secrets Act, if that's what you mean.
How many could do us irreparable damage?
Less than 100. All the work has been compartmentalised on a need-to-know basis.
I'll need their names. This can never come out. Never. If it did, the consequences for order for this administration, our whole endeavour will be at risk.
Undoubtedly.
We'll have to blame the bombs. Radiation, an unforeseen side effect of a necessary evil.
It's scientifically possible, given the wind patterns.
And we'll need to prepare the population. Reframe the way they view starting a family and stress the advantages of a childless life. People can be surprisingly malleable when presented with a positive spin. And we'll need to accelerate the transition centre programme.
It has the capacity.
I need that list of names tonight, Thomas.
Is there no other way?
Can you think of one?
In time, possibly.
A luxury we sadly do not possess.
Shall I begin destroying the records?
No, the security services will take it from here. They can be relied upon to close off loose ends.
Of course.
I'll expect your resignation as well, Thomas.
Obviously.
And then I suggest that you, Jean, and the children find a quiet corner of the territories and start a new life. Do something mundane, unobtrusive.
Thank you, Julia.
There's no need to thank me, Thomas. We're old friends. You have 72 hours. After that, I'll need to give them your names as well.
I understand.
That will be all.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Get me Adrian at the services.
I don't get it.
I do.
Where did this footage come from? I mean, this footage was illegally obtained. It's falsified, clearly.
Sorry, which is it?
What?
Was it illegally obtained or was it falsified? It can't be both.
Oh, well, clearly it is.
Prime Minister, that footage seems to show you and your chief scientific officer,
Dr. Thomas Wellington,
discussing a problem with our food. Is that correct?
Well, how would I know? I've never seen this footage before.
That was your office, Prime Minister.
Well, obviously, yes.
and that's Dr. Wellington.
Again, yes.
And you are discussing what I think you're discussing, Prime Minister.
Well, I can't read your mind, Megan, but I'd ask you to consider very carefully before continuing this line of questioning. Can we get the music back, please, Jenny?
My sister wanted children.
We tried. So many times before Stacey.
I've always wanted a large family, 5 or 6 kids. That's how I grew up.
Watch out, Prime Minister. The women are coming.
How long have we got?
Less than 2 minutes. You got this?
I was born for this. Prime Minister. Julia. What have you done?
To be preposterous, I haven't done anything.
The footage doesn't lie, Prime Minister.
Please, the footage does nothing but lie. It can be made to show anything, to prove any point. Surely you don't need me to tell you that. You're the territory's leading expert into massaging the facts into whatever shape we want. Why do you think you rose so high so quickly? It's not your journalistic integrity after all. That was Jeremy Donaldson's thing, and look where that got him.
Have you been covering up the sterilisation of the men and women of the territories, Prime Minister?
Don't be ridiculous.
Is there something wrong with our food, Prime Minister?
Of course not.
Will you be resigning your position, ma'am?
How dare you ask me that?
Will there be elections now, Miss Salisbury?
Will you be compensating your victims?
Will there be an inquiry?
I am not going to dignify these conspiracy theories with a response.
How many unviable births?
How many hundreds of thousands of grieving parents?
Is there blood on your hands, Prime Minister?
I don't have to put up with this.
Someone have that footage analysed if there's even a chance it's falsified.
I think we all know it isn't.
I can't do this.
Helen.
You have to say something.
What? What is there to say?
It's what you do. So do it.
I want to apologise to anyone who might have been upset by what they've just seen. Sorry, no, I want to apologise to all of you because you will have found tonight's programme upsetting. No, not that either. I don't think I want to apologise because you should be upset, you should be incandescent, you should be marching on team headquarters demanding answers. I know I will be. And if the footage we've seen tonight turns out to be genuine, as I have no doubt it will, you should be asking yourself how we got here. And I think you'll conclude that it had an awful lot to do with me and people like me. People who should have been asking questions on your behalf. We were journalists, the gatekeepers of truth, and now, with this shit show. The great misdirection played out nightly, so bright and fun and shiny that you can't see what's happening right in front of your face. Well, that's on us, that's on me. And I thought that if I compromised a little, I could still do a lot. But it was impossible to make a change unless you were on the inside. So I bent a little and I went along with the small things. And now the small things are all that's left. Because when the change is happening so slowly, when it's only one cut a day, well, then it's easy to forget that you're bleeding. And one day there's no blood left, just dust. And the celebrity chefs. My name's Megan Wolfe, and I am sorry for misleading you, night after night. Only you can make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
So what happens now?
You all get fired, I guess.
Bozeman wants to see you all on the 15th floor.
Well, that's that then.
No, don't rule Bozeman out just yet. He plays his cards close to his chest and he still hasn't forgiven them for putting us into public ownership.
And don't forget, Bozeman is the one who put Jeremy in the seat in the first place.
He'd have been proud of us tonight. Jeremy, wouldn't he?
Damn straight.
He'd have fucking loved it.
So we're not concerned with the resurgence of our disruptive friends?
Thankfully, they're not strong enough to be a threat, Mum. Public opinion was never truly with them, even at their peak.
Don't worry, I'll deal with it. Sarah, we've had a couple of the crew mention seeing suspicious activity in the loading bay. Men in balaclavas or some such.
I'll check it out.
I'll come with you.
Thanks for letting me know.
Just make sure we're not all about to get blown up, eh?
I think that's unlikely.
I'll go make sure everything's ready.
Well, I hope when I take over as the new regular host, things become a little less chaotic.
Sorry, what's that?
Oh yes, didn't Bozeman tell you I'll be here every night?
No, I missed that meeting. I was at an appointment.
Oh, well, don't worry. It's not like you're being fired or anything. You'll be culture correspondent or some such. You'll be fine. Oh, please don't be upset. It's nothing personal. It's just good for the ratings, apparently.
Of course, Prime Minister.
10 seconds.
Jenny?
I'm on it. Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the Nightly Show, where I'm joined once again on the couch of chat by Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, who's agreed to answer some questions from the public.
They're always my toughest critics, Megan.
Indeed they are. So, first up tonight is a question from one of our elderly viewers, and she's on the line right now. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello, what's your name and where do you live?
I'm Florence from Stainsborough.
Hi Florence, thank you for calling. You're on with Prime Minister Julia Salisbury.
Do you have a question, Florence?
Yes, I do have a question.
Okay, would you like to ask that question now?
Oh, yes. Right you are, dear. Prime Minister, with all that hard work on your hands, how does your skin manage to keep that healthy glow?
Oh, bless you. What a lovely question. Oh, well, I suppose with my line of work, there's not a lot of time for a skincare regime, as I believe they call it. So I guess I've just got my mother and father to thank. I suppose I've just got lucky genes.
Lucky jeans? Oh, that's what my Clint calls the denims he was wearing when we first, well, you know.
Yep, thank you for that question, Florence.
Your Clint sounds like a right one.
Oh, he is. It'll be 44 years married this June, but he still finds the energy twice a week to give me a...
Thank you, Florence, thank you.
I wish I could say the same at her age.
Everyone needs a Clint, eh, Prime Minister?
Or a Clara, perhaps. Megan?
Let's go to our next questioner tonight. He's calling from right here in the capital. Hi, caller, can you hear me?
Yes. Thank you, Megan. Just about. It's not a good line.
Well, I think we all know that voice. Good evening, Mr. Donaldson.
Good evening, Prime Minister.
Do you have a question for the Prime Minister, caller?
Several, actually.
Well, maybe it would be better if we tried to get a better line. I could have the station call you back.
Don't worry. I've got a much better idea.
What's going on?
It might be what you call a surprise guest. Our second of the evening. Please welcome Jeremy Donaldson.
Jeremy Donaldson!
On live television.
What can I say? It's good for the ratings, apparently.
This
man is a wanted criminal. Where's that CCO, for God's sake?
Don't worry, Prime Minister, I'm not harmed.
Sarah?
She's not here at the moment, Prime Minister. We'll alert her the moment she returns. If we can find the keys to the studio doors, that is. Apparently, they've been locked and no one knows where they are.
That's uncharacteristically careless of you, Jenny. You know there's only one way in and out of this studio. A peculiarity of these old buildings.
I'm sure they'll turn up.
We'd have you all arrested for this, you know.
Come, Prime Minister, what are you so afraid of? Surely a woman of your stature can withstand a few questions.
For the viewers at home.
Couch chat.
Very well. I can't say I'm impressed with this irresponsible stunt, but believe it or not, I used to have a lot of respect for you, Mr. Donaldson.
Please don't attempt to flatter me, Prime Minister.
No, I'm not. It's true. I've watched you sink your journalistic teeth into the great and powerful. So, out of respect for the man you once were, I'll dance your strange little tango. But I warn you, Mr. Donaldson, you better be nimble on your feet, because you'll only have one chance to tango with me.
Well, let's put on our dancing shoes then, shall we? I'd like to ask you about sterility first, Prime Minister.
Yes, a terrible situation.
Caused in no small part by the actions of your government.
Well, we can't control the weather systems that unfortunately
Unfortunately spread the fallout from your bombs in an even layer across the territories.
That's what our scientists say, yes.
Stillbirths at an all-time high, along with babies being born with terminal birth defects, babies that your regime somewhat callously refer to as unviables.
It's just a word, Mr. Donaldson. No need for conspiracy theories.
If you say so. How many unviables have been born since Liberation Night, Prime Minister?
Too many. Way too many. I mean, obviously I don't have the exact figures.
Oh, I believe we do, Prime Minister. Yes, there have in fact been 2,581,280 unviable births since Liberation Night, according to official government figures.
So, 14 million deaths on Liberation Night, and then another 2.5 million infant mortalities, assuming you actually managed to count them all, which, given the limits of bureaucracy, seems extremely unlikely.
I'm sorry, is there a question?
You made a decision one November evening 5 years ago, and as a result of that decision, 16.5 million people are dead. Prime Minister, do you have any regrets at all?
Of course I do, Mr. Donaldson. I regret every grieving family, every life destroyed. I came into politics to help people.
You came into politics to help people. In that case, Prime Minister, where did it all go so horribly wrong?
Well, Mr. Donaldson, Miss Wolfe, I suppose this is where we all have to put on our grown-up trousers, isn't it?
Please do not patronise our audience, Prime Minister.
Oh, why not? That's how they like to be treated. They want a government to keep them safe, happy, equal and free. That's our job, you see, to make a perfect circle out of that impossible square. And if we can do just that one impossible thing, then they don't ask a lot of questions. They're not like you two. They don't want to see how the magic trick's done. They just want to gasp at the miraculous effect.
So it's the public's fault?
So, it's no one's fault. It's just the way things are. You asked me where it all went wrong, but the ugly truth is it never did. I weighed the advantages of action and inaction, and I acted. And without making these tough choices, we would not be where we are today. I believe any decent leader would have done the same.
Any decent leader?
Have you forgotten how things were before the new future? The homelessness, the despair, the billions abandoned to a life of miserable poverty. That's a form of death too. It's just much, much slower and infinitely more pernicious.
Any decent leader?
Yes, any decent leader.
Including Peter Clement?
How dare you? Peter was my best friend.
Is it true you never told Prime Minister Clement about your plans for Liberation Night? In the weeks that followed, you fought with him repeatedly and passionately, didn't you?
We've spoken to staff from Team HQ who claim to have overheard several
conversations. Conversations? Yes, we disagreed. frequently and loudly. That was how we worked. That was why we worked.
Until you didn't?
Yes. Yes, until we realised that we no longer shared the same values.
Values like compassion, Prime Minister.
How dare you? Everything I've done, everything is out of compassion. But sometimes love needs to be tough. And Peter never understood that. That's why I called him my conscience. And now he's gone.
Do you need a moment, Prime Minister? Perhaps now might be a good time for us to show the viewers at home some footage that has found its way to me. It was filmed in early December, 5 years ago. Jenny, can we have this prepared on screen 4, please?
Yes, Jeremy. We'll need a couple of minutes.
You're right to continue, Prime Minister.
Peter was the heart of Advance. People loved him in a way that they've never loved me. They find me cold, emotionless. But I have to be strong. I'm a woman. I can't show tears. I can't show weakness. I can't show this. I would have thought that you would have understood that.
Are you sure you don't need a moment to compose yourself, Prime Minister? I'm sure we can cut away to something about buttons.
This is cruel. Advance are guilty of many things, but we were never cruel.
Well, I think that's up for debate.
Please, just I need a minute. Just point that camera away from me.
I have a question, Prime Minister.
Fine, just ask your question.
Why are there no tears on your face?
Oh, well played, Miss Wolfe. Well played. That would be the security services. They're here for Mr. Donaldson and to escort me safely out of the building. I very much imagine this will be the last broadcast any of you ever make.
Jeremy, we have to get you out of here now.
Except there's a small army directly outside the door, and I believe there's only one way in or out, due to a peculiarity in the design of these old buildings.
She's played us.
I can't go back. I can't go back to Betterment.
And yet to Betterment you will surely go.
Don't you worry, Jeremy. We won't let them take you.
Oh, perhaps you'd like to join him. After all, aiding and abetting an escaped convict is, of course, a crime in itself.
Leave them out of it. This was my idea.
We're in!
I surrender! There's no need for violence! I acted alone! There's no need to rest!
Tango received, ma'am!
There. No serious damage.
The footage. Alex, you have to play the footage. Don't let it all be in vain.
If you play that footage, Alex, which I have no doubt was illegally obtained, you will be joining Mr. Donaldson in Betterment. Do you have a family, Alex? Perhaps you'd like to think how well they'd cope without you. Take him away.
The footage! Alex! You have to play the footage!
Don't show them off! I want this shut down now! I want you to cut Alex Winston off. I don't care how you do it, just lock them out! This is a matter of internal security, and lives could be put at risk if this footage is shown. I'd like to apologise to our regular viewers of The Nightly Show who may have been upset by some they've had to witness tonight. Clearly his time on the run has affected Mr. Donaldson in ways that could be considered upsetting. We're going to be going to the adverts a little early tonight, but before we do, I want to say something to you all. If you have been disturbed by anything you've seen tonight, please make an appointment with your local cohesion centre, where experts will be there to advise and counsel you. And, of course, they have the power to prescribe. Please be reassured that Mr. Donaldson will be given the very best of care in what I'm sorry to say will probably be a long and arduous process of betterment. Maybe, one day, when he has completed his reformation, we may see him again in this very studio. This programme will be back tomorrow night, but to ensure that you always have access to the heart of government, I will be the new regular presenter, assisted of course by Megan Wolfe and her team of top reporters. I, for one, am pretty excited about it. The security services will examine the footage Mr. Donaldson claims to have acquired, and should it be in the public interest, we will, of course, release it. But not at 6:30 in the evening, and not on this show. There are proper channels for such sensationalism, and the nightly show is certainly not one of them. That's something Mr. Donaldson never understood. The news is a dangerous thing. It needs context. It's complex and multifaceted, and sometimes, not always, but sometimes, it's better not to know. My name is Julia Salisbury. Have a peaceful night. You two, come here.
Please, don't arrest me. I need this job.
I understand why you pulled this childish stunt. I can't say I wouldn't have done the same thing. For a friend.
It won't happen again.
No, it won't. Good. Let's get back to work.
You duplicitous bitch!
I'd
That's
like
not
to apologise
fucking
to our
good
regular
enough. Peter,
viewers
you
of
have
the
to
nightly show
understand.
who
No,
may have
you
been
have to
upset by what
understand.
they've just had to witness.
14
Clearly his time
deaths
on the
on
run
our
has
hands.
affected
It's
Mr. Donaldson in ways that
unthinkable.
could be considered
why I didn't tell you.
Because you knew
What's happened?
I
Why's my
tried
camera light
fucking
out?
stopping you!
You are a bloody liability, Peter. Can't you see that?
Well, get me a
Drunk or
monitor, let me
sober,
see.
you cannot be trusted.
I'm the fucking co-Prime Minister, Julia, and I'm supposed to be your friend!
Well, maybe you see I had your best interests at heart. This isn't on you, you lucky bastard. You get to sleep at night.
I haven't slept for weeks!
And what would you have done if I had told you what we were planning?
I'd have stopped you! I'd have gone on the fucking news and I'd have exposed you if I had to, but I would have stopped you, and you can be fucking sure of that!
And the whole country would have fucking starved. Well, you agonised over your morals. And we'd all be gone, all our good work, all wiped out.
Good work? Good fucking work? It's been 3 weeks and they're still putting out the fucking fires! It's been 3 weeks and they're still...
Let's talk about this tomorrow.
Tomorrow? Tomorrow, I am going to be on every news channel in the world, telling people what a fucking monster you are!
No, you won't. Tomorrow, you will come back here and you will do your fucking job, just like I have to.
Well, we'll see, won't we? Jesus, Horatio, face fucker Christ. I don't even know who you are anymore.
Get me Adrian at the services. Hello, Adrian. Sorry to bother you so late at night. That thing we discussed. Sorry to bother you. I'm afraid we're going to have to put it into action. That thing we discussed? Yes, I'm sure. You were right. He is a liability. Yes, I'm sure. You were right. Thank you. Adrian, thank you. Make it quick. Adrian, I don't want him to suffer. Let me know when it's done. No paperwork, nothing. No one must ever know. Thank you. You have a good night too. Thank you.
Do you have any comments for the viewers at home, Prime Minister? I'm sure they have a lot of questions.
It's not what it seems to be.
Isn't it? Because it seems to show you ordering the cold-blooded murder of Peter Clement.
Perhaps you need a bit of betterment to yourself.
Oh, don't you judge me! Not after that stunt you pulled here tonight. You work for me, remember?
No. Not anymore. I quit. There's about 2 minutes left. You'll need this. You can take me away now. I'm done.
Do you have anything to say, Prime Minister?
You're done. All of you. This programme is cancelled. It's effective immediately. You're all fired. No. Arrest them all.
I'm not the criminal here. You all saw that footage. You know who should be arrested here.
I am the Prime Minister, and I will do what I always do when it takes to
law, Julia. No one is.
Do your bloody job!
There'll be elections now. Just you wait. The people will demand it. Won't you? New government, new start, new journalists. Maybe they'll be better than we were. Maybe it will all be better next time. You can take me away now. 50 seconds, Prime Minister. Can't leave any dead air. That's a crime too.
45 seconds. What can be said in 45 seconds in a soundbite, a headline? How do you convey the shades of grey when there's only enough airtime for crass blacks and whites? And even if I could, would you watch? Or would you change channel? Look for something more exciting, less boring than the news? And if that really is what you do, is this really all my fault? Or could this, in some profound, incredibly complex way, also be yours? My name is Julia Salisbury, and I will make tomorrow better. We're out of time.
It's bad, Mum. Not like before, but so much more than we were expecting. And they're better organised this time. Like someone experienced is running things.
Well, we stopped them before. We can do it again. Thank you, Sarah.
One more thing, Mum.
Yes?
Apparently there's chatter about you. I've requested backup, but well, we're stretched pretty thin, Mum.
I receive death threats like other people receive post. I've learned to take it all with a pinch of salt.
Of course, Mum.
Thank you, Sarah.
That sounded deeply worrying.
Oh, you get used to it. I have.
I hope I don't have to.
Oh, didn't Bozeman tell you?
Tell us what?
Oh, I'm sure he'll tell you when the time's right. Forget I said anything.
You literally didn't. Going in 10 seconds.
I don't think she likes me very much.
Oh, no, that's just how she shows love.
5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the Nightly Show, where it's time to get a little intimate with the Prime Minister on the couch of chat. Prime Minister, it's great to still have you with us.
Thanks, Megan. Although maybe now's the right time to tell you that you're going to be seeing an awful lot more of me.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I am delighted to announce that starting next week, I will be the new...
Miss Salisbury, could you get ready to accompany me, please?
What's happening?
Please remain in place, Mum. This won't take a moment. Sit rep.
We do apologise to our viewers at home for this unexpected interruption.
I'm sure it's nothing to worry about.
Right, understood. Everyone, please remain calm.
How can I help?
Can you clear everyone out of that area? Everyone.
Okay, everyone, if we could just clear away from these studio doors. Yeah, that's right, just behind the cameras, please.
Do those doors look? Is that Colin with the headphones on? Hey, mate, can you lock the doors? Can you not hear me?
Colin! Colin!
You can't hear us.
I'll do it.
No, miss, too late. I'm law enforcement! Load your weapons up!
You two stay at the door, lock it tight, and don't let anyone in.
Yes, sir.
Now listen, there's no need for anyone
Sit back down!
Of course, whatever you say.
Are we still live?
Yes, we're live.
Good. It's time for some real news. You, mic me up. Is it working?
I just need to check.
Is it working?
Yes, it's working.
Good. Over there, on your knees. Now. You, next to him. Move!
You okay, Colin?
Shitty birthday. Not the worst one I've had, though.
Let them go, Mr. James. It's me you want.
Don't flatter yourself. You're not the target here. You're just a bonus.
Oh my God, is it me?
We're not here to take out a person. We're cancelling the whole fucking show. Which camera?
Any of them, all of them.
I know you're watching this. In your vans, planning your counter-attack. But please, try and control yourselves. Or, well, I'm sure you know the rest.
Alan, we can talk about this.
Oh, we will. I have a lot of questions.
There's no need for anyone to get hurt.
Where was that attitude during the uprising? You know, the night your thugs killed my friends.
There are innocent people here.
Says the woman who killed 14 million of them. No, I don't feel any great need to answer to you. In fact, get over here.
I don't take orders.
Come here! You move when I tell you to! Give me that.
Alan, don't do it. You're not an executioner.
What am I then, eh? You tell me, Megan Wolfe, what the fuck am I?
You're just a man who's just way in over his head.
Don't patronise me, you smug bitch. I'm not one of your little helpers. Get over here. Kneel beside her. You're just as fucking guilty as she is.
Guilty of what, you fucking psychopath?
All of it! She sat there, smiling, and let it all happen. Jeremy Donaldson died for this programme. And she let it become this. Bread and circuses. Bread and fucking circuses!
Don't you say his name.
I beg your pardon?
I said, don't you say his name. You don't get to do that!
You're angry at the wrong person, love. She's the one that killed him. The first victim of her benevolent slaughter. Not the last, though.
All I am hearing is crazy.
Then maybe you should hear it from the source. Confess. Eh? Confess. Fine. Have it your own way.
Stop! For God's sake, stop!
Answer my questions. Or she dies next. Yeah? Then her.
Tell him what he wants to hear.
Ask your questions.
Better. First question. How did you actually think this was all going to end?
In a better world.
Bullshit.
It's the truth! When we came into power, everything was broken. The system worked for so few. There was hunger and poverty and real pain. But you never saw that, Mr. James, because you were doing just fine, thank you very much. And my side, we were too weak, too meek. It was all good intentions and second chances and playing by the rules. Well, do you know where playing fair gets the people at the bottom? Because of fucking nowhere. Someone had to be prepared to actually fight, to do what was required. So I did it. Because no one else was going to.
14 million people.
To save the 60 million here. What would you have done? Let us all starve to death?
You should have found another way.
There was no other way.
Is that how Peter Clement saw it?
Peter was weak. I loved him more than I have ever loved anyone, but he was soft. He wouldn't have allowed it to happen. And afterwards, he couldn't sleep. It haunted him. I think it would have killed him in the end anyway. But that's on me, Mr. James. What's on you?
We're not discussing me. Didn't you hear? Disrupt died on the night of the uprising.
Then how have we been watching you for months?
Watching me?
You're not the only one who knows how to get people on the inside. We knew you'd pop your grubby little head up again, and we've been collecting information just in case you did. There's a recording, a meeting of the so-called Disrupt leadership. It's tiny hidden cameras, very high-tech. Perhaps the public should see what your bosses are talking about when there's no one else around.
We have people at the network jamming your signals, messing with your broadcast room. We'll stop you.
We have people too, and they've been doing this an awfully long time. Prepare the footage on screen 4. I guess it's up to the broadcast room.
You in there? If you play that footage, she dies.
Play it, Alex. Play the tape. I've seen it. It's important. He's gonna blow us up anyway, so just play the fucking tape.
Look, the console. Don't let me play that tape. Don't take those screens. What's happening? What's happening?
Well, how the fuck should I know?
Someone tell me, what do they choose?
They didn't play it.
They didn't play it. Well done, Alex. Good choice. You get to live.
Whoop-de-doo.
You, not so much.
Why did you do that? Why?
Because that's the only way it ends with people like her. She was never going to stop. Just her and her version of what's best forever. She was a narcissist.
They're gonna kill you, Alan.
Yes, I know. But the movement will stand a chance. We'll all stand a chance thanks to people like Alex.
Oh, Alex is no hero.
But that's what heroism is. For people like us. There are so few times in a person's life where they face a decision that could actually make a difference. We're so disempowered. But in those moments, the choices we make combined with the billions made by everyone else, that defines us. We remake the world one small choice at a time.
Advance isn't just one person. They're going to have a new leader by morning.
Yes, but this one might be prepared to listen. We need elections. We need a choice.
Disrupt is that choice.
Well, I don't see any of you stepping up.
We step up every night.
Do you, though? It seems to me you stopped doing that a while back. And even when you did, you just took snide pot shots and undermined everything. You constantly only tell us what's wrong, and it makes us scared and hopeless.
Says the man with a bomb strapped to his chest.
Go, go! Nobody move! You know how this works? I keep my thumb down on this, and we all get to have a peaceful night. Megan, come here.
Pathetic!
Shut the fuck up.
Don't you even want to know who's pulling your strings, what they say about you behind your back?
I said, nobody move!
I think you're a joke, Alan. They're using you.
I said, shut up!
And when you've done what they want, they're going to throw you to the wolves.
It's in the tape, Alan.
See what everyone else sees, Alan. You're a joke. A nut job. A sad, pathetic...
Shut up! Shut the fuck up. Don't blame me. I didn't make the choices. I just played the hand I got dealt.
I visited Stas-Leningrad recently. What remains of it?
They played it.
You know, smoke
Get me a
still
monitor.
rises from
Show me
some
what's
of the
going out.
wreckage. Apparently it's too dangerous to send in men to put out the fires.
We have all lost that to which we were attached.
5 years, General, and still it burns. That is why this cannot be allowed to happen again.
Then we are all agreed. Once normality returns, we will proceed in a process of sanitization, Viscount.
My estimates suggest that we will need to expunge at least 45,000 in each territory, and if we are to be certain, many hundreds of thousands more. There'll be regional variations, of course, but the numbers will remain surprisingly consistent.
It will be an industrial procedure. We will need facilities.
Undoubtedly.
Oh, my people can deal with that. They're experienced in clandestine construction under challenging conditions.
But it will have to be all of them, General. The intellectuals, the radicals,
yes.
free thinkers, anyone who does not understand and accept the natural order of existence.
Of course, Jacob. There can be no fertile ground left for these ideas to take root again.
There will be resistance. We should also consider relatives and close friends. They will no doubt have been exposed to dangerous ideologies anyway.
That could be millions of people.
Yes, but we can manage it. I mean, once the processing is up and running, we can streamline it.
You're certain you can manage these numbers, General?
Oh, yes, Viscount, possibly more. And then there's the transition centres. They can be easily repurposed.
Well then, this is marvellous. Marvellous, gentlemen.
There is one other matter to discuss. Our colourful spokesman.
Mr. James. He's useful, for now. His appearance works well for us with the common classes.
But he'll have to go too, him and all his type.
Oh, yes.
On that I think we can all agree. Let him dance today for the masses who clap and cheer, and then later we cut his strings.
Obviously. The face of the future looks nothing like Mr. James.
Yes. I remember when we had troublesome cadets in a unit, we used to send them on a doomed mission. Gave their relatives something to be proud of, an honourable death of a loved one. Stopped them asking some troublesome questions.
An excellent solution. Mr. James is full of passion. Let him consume himself with it.
Shall we turn to the matter of a new curriculum?
Oh, yes.
Bad choice, Alex. Kill her. No, wait. Better yet. This is on you.
Songbird down! Repeat, songbird down!
Everybody stop!
Lower your weapons. Think about this, Mr. James. No one else needs to die today.
I agree. In 4 minutes' time, a helicopter is going to land on the roof of this building. I will be making my way up there and boarding that helicopter. And then I'll be on my way. And as you so observantly pointed out, no one else will need to die here today. I imagine you'll be joining me on the roof.
You know I can't let you leave this room. Alan Stephen James, you are formally requested for dialogue. Under Section 12 of the Mental Health and Antisocial Activity Act, if you refuse to collaborate, I am clinically empowered to intervene. Anything you say can and will be used in efforts towards your betterment.
You're arresting me. Do you not see this?
A palliative advisor will be made available to you at no cost. Do you understand these advantages as I have expressed them to you?
You must be fucking kidding me!
The patient has refused to engage.
You have no power here! If I take my thumb off this trigger...
The patient is a clear and present danger!
I don't understand.
Centigrade received. Target neutralized. Headquarters, I can confirm intelligence. The device was sabotaged by person or persons unknown. 4 civilian casualties present, including Songbird. Is anyone else injured? All other hostages traumatized, but otherwise unharmed. Why are these lights on?
We're broadcasting you live.
Control, any transmission stopped immediately.
No, you can't just cut the signal. We have to say something. We can't just leave them. We have to say something.
I think everyone's seen more than enough.
Both at the same time, Colin?
I'm quadruple jointed.
That is not a thing.
Oh yeah, contortionism runs in my family. The Sprongs are huge in circuses and casino heights.
There would be.
And brothels, obviously.
Oh, crikey. Everybody okay in here?
Yeah, thank
Yeah, we would be if you stopped asking us questions like that.
We're expecting troublemakers, but nothing serious. You might hear some noises, but it's nothing to be concerned about. The services know what they're doing.
So, nobody freak out when the shooting starts, okay? The show must go on and all that. Tits and teeth. Oh, sorry, Minister.
Thank you, Jenny. Tits and teeth, armed and ready.
10 seconds, everybody. God, kill
Best
me.
in the business, she is.
In 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the nightly show where it's time for the Prime Minister to face the toughest critics in the territories. You lot out there.
Call us on the usual numbers with your questions for the Prime Minister.
First up, we have Humphrey from Hamble Bamblebury.
Lovely place. I'm hoping to retire there.
Oh, good choice.
Are you there, Humphrey?
Hello, Humphrey.
Oh, we appear to have lost Humphrey. We'll try and get him back, but let's go to another call in the meantime. Who have we got next, Patrick?
Next up, we've got Mandy from Arsminster. Oh, I don't think I'll be retiring there.
Hi, Mandy. You're through to the Prime Minister. What's your question?
Hello? Mandy? What's going on, Jenny?
Oh, we try not to talk to the crew.
Jenny?
The lines are down.
Oh, well, call down to maintenance and get...
We can't. All the lines are down.
Well, apologies to our viewers at home. We seem to have a few technical gremlins making mischief behind the scenes. So while we're getting back up and running, Patrick has a couple of questions that were sent in by our viewers earlier this week.
I do?
It's your letters.
Oh, yes. yes, no, of course I do. Well, our first question is from Patricia, who lives on Camera Avenue. And what she really wants to know...
Lock the door! What? Lock the fucking door!
Subdue the CCO! Seal the doors! You're Jenny, aren't you? Come here. Don't be afraid, Jenny. We're not here to hurt you. We're not here to hurt anyone if we don't have to. All I want you to do is to keep the show on the air. Do you understand? Just do your job and everything will be all right, okay?
Don't be afraid, Jenny.
You two, on your knees over there. Move! So, this is the famous couch of chat, eh?
I don't answer questions at gunpoint, Mr. James.
Oh. You're not at gunpoint, Prime Minister. They are.
Oh, please don't kill me, please. Nevertheless, if you think I'm going to answer to you, then I'm afraid
you don't have to answer to me, Julia. Are the doors locked and sealed?
Yes, sir. No one's getting in or out.
Good. All clear.
Good. Thank you. Yes, good.
Jeremy?
Hello, you.
Why didn't you make contact?
We've only put you in their crosshairs, I'm sorry.
You're a rotten, selfish bastard.
Yes. Keep the show going for me.
Of course.
Let them go, Alan. There'll be no killing tonight.
Hello. Sorry, I don't think we've met. I'm Patrick Bannon.
Is that what you're telling yourself, is it? Sorry for barging in. Hate what you've done with the place.
Me too. Would you like your spot?
It's yours now. You wear it well. So, let's talk, shall we?
Armed security are on their way, Mr. Donaldson. I know you know that.
Well, we best make use of the time we have then, eh?
Well, I'll leave you to it then.
No. I think you should stay too.
For safety?
For balance. Good evening. I'm Jeremy Donaldson. Let's welcome back the National Nightly News. Tonight I'm joined by probably the two most influential people in the country, if not the continent. So let's see if we can't kick over a few rocks and see what's lurking underneath. Prime Minister, if I could turn to you first.
I have nothing to hide.
Except that which is already hidden. Prime Minister, what is norethindrone?
I beg your pardon?
Norethindrone. It's used in birth control, among other things. If you haven't heard of that, perhaps you could enlighten us in regards to Agrobacterium tumefaciens.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Donaldson.
Well, that suggests a lack of attention to detail, Prime Minister. It's a bacterium used in the genetic modification of an organism. And I found traces of both these substances in every single one of the menu centre food boxes that I've had analysed, from across the territories, if you're wondering.
What exactly are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything, Prime Minister. I'm just pointing out the facts.
Oh my God. Is that why Kate and I can't have...
So you blamed it on the radioactive clouds from your bombs?
Before Stacey, we tried so many times.
Prime Minister, is there something wrong with the food?
Fine. You want the truth? You think it'll help your viewers sleep at night? Well, here it is. 6 years ago, when we came to power, we got access to the real facts and figures. And they told us we were doomed. The population was expanding at an unsustainable rate. Within 50 years, we would be out of natural resources. We would war over fuel, and then inevitably food and clean water. It was no exaggeration to say that we were facing extinction. It was supposed to be opt-out contraception, an end to unwanted children, a chance to rebalance, but something went wrong in the testing phase. Nature took over. I never wanted this.
So you covered it up and blamed the sterility on the bombs?
Oh, please don't lecture me on morality, Mr. James. Your hands are far too dirty for that.
Disrupt only did what had to be done.
Disrupt are not the answer. You'll just take us to an even more extreme version of where we were before. Your miserable policies will kill us all.
I'm not the one who built the transition centres.
No, you're from a time where people didn't even have the basic right to choose how and when to die.
You turned children against their parents.
We enabled young people to speak up about the abuse that they were facing. And guess what? Most of that abuse came from within their own families.
Identity cards!
Oh, grow up!
You sterilised us against our will.
I built a sustainable future.
That's too much. That's not for you to choose.
Well, if not me, then who? Who would choose it for themselves?
And isn't that at the heart of all this? You don't trust us to choose. You think you know best, you know what's good for us, and if we disagree with you, then you'll send us to betterment. That's why there's no news anymore, because there's no choice, so there's no point.
There should be elections.
Elections have been suspended.
Time to unsuspend them then. If you want to carry on, you'll need a mandate. We have people ready to stand against you in every territory.
So, let's turn to you, Mr. James.
Yes. I want to assure the public that though Disrupt are occasionally forced to violent means, we are not by nature a violent organisation.
Jenny?
Yes, Jeremy?
Could you have this queued up for us, please?
Of course, Jeremy. It'd be a pleasure.
Is that from Disrupt leadership?
In a way. Mr. James, before you launch into your rather premature election campaign, I think it'd be useful for the viewers at home if you were to also answer a question or two.
Of course. When we come to power, one of the first things we'll do is restore a free press. The truth is very important. No more hidden secrets.
If you say so. From whom do you take your orders, by the way?
I beg your pardon?
Well, you're Disrupt's spokesman, but for whom do you speak?
You know I can't tell you. It's too dangerous for me to say.
Don't worry. I don't share those concerns. You see, I've met with them almost 5 years ago now, back when I was a news anchor. And I also met with them a week ago to discuss tonight's activities. I think they wanted to check that I'd stick to the script, which really shows how little they know me. So this time, I wore a hidden camera. Would you like to see a little of what we discussed?
No, you can't. She'll have them arrested. They'll be dead by morning.
Not an unfair assessment.
Fortunately, it's not up to me. It's up to Alex in the broadcast room. What screen, Jenny?
Screen 4.
No, you can't. My people will stop you. Cut the power to your machines.
Well, I would imagine mine will be doing their level best to ensure that Mr. Donaldson's footage gets the airing it deserves. After all, my security forces will be here soon, and I imagine this will end very badly for all of you.
Queued up and ready.
Thank you, Jenny. Alex, showing this will have consequences. But so will not showing it. It's up to you.
Alex, you got us this far. Please don't fall at the last hurdle. If you show that footage, all our good work, all the years of disrupting, you could make it all for nothing. Please, don't play that footage.
Alex didn't play it.
Really?
Really.
They'll be locked out by now.
We risked our lives to be here tonight. I just brought down the fucking Prime Minister. All Alex had to do was press a fucking button.
But that's what you've never understood, is it, Mr. Donaldson? Just because the button's there doesn't mean it has to be pushed.
Just because the gun is there, you don't necessarily have to grab it.
Oh, but you have to push the button. You have to pull the thread. It's your fatal flaw.
No, it's not. It's what makes him great.
Not every story should be told, Jeremy.
We have a duty to the truth.
But there are so many truths. I'm a terrorist. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm a raving lunatic.
I'm the woman who killed millions. I'm the woman who saved billions.
All of these things are true. But this programme and all the others like it, they pick which truth to tell, which way to word those truths.
Without the tacit backing of this station, Mr. James's organisation would never have achieved what we have seen here today.
We back neither Mr. James nor his organisation.
Oh, Peter hated how you'd bend the truth or show us only what you wanted us to see. It's part of the reason he drank.
Showing those private conversations, it would have been a betrayal of trust.
Aren't you even a little curious to know what they had to say about you, Alan?
What's private is private. When they want me to know, I'll know. When they feel safe to come forwards, they will. It should be up to them. That's what freedom is supposed to mean. It's your life. You choose. That's what Disrupt want. Freedom. But not freedom from consequences. Nobody grows that way. We become sterile, like she made the rest of society. You should be in prison.
Oh, and by that token, so should you, Mr. James. There will be elections in the territories. Election night will be 12 weeks from tonight. I believe, when they think on it, that the people will realise what they have gained and understand why they have lost that which they have had to lose.
You're deluded. You accidentally sterilised 4 out of 5 people. You'll be lucky if you're in charge of anything ever again.
Okay, well, I think we're going round in circles here. And if we don't wrap up soon, our boss will fire us all. So, with the promise of elections in the spring, it seems we're nowhere near the end of this nation's story. At least from here on, there is hope it will be conducted with words instead of bullets. There will be recriminations, of course, and calls for revenge and punishment. But we do not need more hate. We need truth and reconciliations. And hopefully that's what we will get. And then when we've listened, we will decide. All of us. 1 vote each. Anything to add, Jeremy?
I think you've got it covered.
Would you like to take us out?
You know, I really would.
I'd like that too. I'm Megan Wolfe.
And I'm Jeremy Donaldson. And from everyone here at the National Nightly News, have a... Let's make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
I'll be on the phone to Bozeman in the morning.
That'll be interesting. His daughter just gave birth to an unviable.
Are you coming out with us? Apparently we're free to go.
You go.
Will you be joining us on the campaign trail?
I wouldn't vote for your party, Mr. James. Or hers. Who knows, maybe I'll run as an independent.
You wouldn't last 5 minutes. You're too honest for politics.
Thank you for letting me ruin your awful show.
Oh, I've got some hope that this new format won't be around long, especially when Bozeman sees the ratings tonight. Who knows, we might even do some real news.
Stranger things have happened.
But don't make this a habit, okay? There's a list for guests you book in. Let's do that next time, thank you.
You look like you enjoyed that.
I had missed it. I hadn't realised how much.
Should we go and get something to eat?
Yes. I want to hear about every disastrous date you've had in the last 5 years. I want names, expectations, crimes.
That's going to take more than one dinner.
Fine. I have nothing to do, and you have a well-paid job. And you're absolutely certain in your research?
It's unpalatable but true. Advance are covertly
It's playing.
sterilising the population.
Put it on the monitors. Why don't you just release this through your normal channels?
Mr. James is surprisingly efficient rabble-rouser. The peasants respond to his more earthly qualities. But you, Mr. Donaldson, are a face they trust.
We did not risk our operatives' lives to rescue you out of altruism.
And afterwards? Once all this is out in the open?
We anticipate considerable unrest, possibly riots.
Followed, of course, in the restoration of democratic elections, under our control, of course.
Nature abhors a vacuum. You, Mr. Donaldson, will create that vacuum, and we should be there to fill it.
That will take considerable resources. From what I understand, Advance took your wealth.
The visible billions, yes.
Some markets still prosper.
There will always be addicts.
And those with carnal desires for livestock of all ages. A lucrative business indeed.
And then there are the foreign powers, outside the territories. Those who fear to follow the fate of my glorious Erkistan. For them, no price is too high.
Folks like us are always well-resourced. You need have no concern about that. We have the required funds to fight and to win.
And once the fight is done, to make sure this aberrance is never seen again. A return to the natural order of things. The wheat rises to the top and the chaff is burned away. No more living side by side with ill-educated savages. Let the plebs pile up in the ghettos.
Yeah.
Strict order, an end to ungodly acts. Everyone back in their place.
Including our Mr. James. It amazes me how he cannot hear the Damoclean sword as it dangles above his head.
Oh, he was an ignorant bull. He sees only the red cape in front of him, never the hidden blade.
And so it is with the low orders. They are lost in this new world.
They will gladly walk back to Old One, and they will be ours again, as it should be.
Excellent.
Excellent.
You set me up.
No, Alan, you did that to yourself.
Now do you understand what you're doing?
Do you understand why we have to?
Pathetic. Neither of you recognises your own reflection.
How long, Jenny?
Not long, I imagine. For any of you.
Security are outside. They've been here for 5 minutes, but they're not doing anything. Turns out there's a lot of them who wanted children. We're already a few minutes over, Megan, but with ratings like this, Bozeman's no fool.
Do you want to take us out?
It should be you.
It should be both of us. You start.
Before we go tonight,
one final thought.
There's so much to digest here. What's happened tonight in this political circus?
The tent is collapsing and the ringmasters have lost their glitter.
There will be elections. Soon, I'd imagine. You'll be able to choose.
These two will run. A choice between a shit sandwich and a cold cup of sick. A circus of horrors.
Two extremes, both offering their own form of misery.
You can choose Advance and be equal.
In cages, like performing lions.
Or disrupt and be free.
To struggle and starve.
Or you can do something different. You can run. You can stand. You can stop promoting the way things are and change it.
You're good people, and you are sensible people. You know the difference between right and wrong.
So stop whinging and do something. Take responsibility, because if you don't, it'll all be left to these clowns.
And that's the worst circus of all.
My name's Jeremy Donaldson.
And I'm Megan Wolfe.
Have a transformative night.
And then make tomorrow better.
And we're out.
You're done. This programme, this channel,
No,
all of
Julia,
you.
not them. We're done. They got us both.
Your security team say they'll escort you when you're ready. We can call you a taxi, Alan.
Where would I go?
Wherever you want.
Am I under arrest?
I think you know you've made that impossible, Mr. Donaldson.
My bosses won't be pleased with you.
Child sex traffickers and wannabe dictators are the natural enemies of the reporter.
We should go and see Bozeman.
We'll do it together.
Yes. And then we'll burn this set.